George, why did you get in that bag? We drink a little wine, no one knows us.
He said, Sarah,
Sarah,
that's my name, don't wear it out. It's not intentional
Sarah
to
Boone
fall
needed a
asleep,
lawyer.
I swear.
not malicious.
But he
I fell
said,
asleep.
Not malicious.
But then I fell asleep.
Sarah,
I fell asleep.
please won't you let
Because
me
it makes
out?
it sound like to me, like I'm being accused of something that was not intentional. I'm being accused of it.
Not intentional, no
Right where it is.
malicious.
Right
She
down
just
there.
fell asleep
You
and
did
played
it.
for God. He was in the bag of dead and stuff. Not intentional.
I
Not
can't
an
imagine
accident at
a
all.
system.
It will all make sense when
case
she
is an
takes the
aberration.
stand. Oh, Sarah, Sarah.
Now you all think that I had even more, in quotes, intent to do what I did, which was not intentional.
He said, Sarah, Sarah, that's my name, don't wear it out. It's not intentional to fall asleep, I swear. But he said, Sarah. But he said, Sarah. We said, Sarah, Sarah, Sarah.
Hello everybody, Excited Utterance here, my name's Hella, and he said, Sarah, I am DJing this weekend, and I have that in my set. I do. Yes, indeedy. How is everybody? Hopefully you're staying dry, and out of the wind, and not in a suitcase. Yes, indeed. Today is a special day, and rather than me just doing the regular Sarah updates, getting documents off the boondocks, all that kind of stuff, I thought, why not do something different? Why not, indeed? And so I thought, what could be different? How about we try and think about how Sarah Boone might win? And that could really annoy some people, and you know I like annoying people. So, hi everybody. Hello. Hello, Luke Pearson. Nice to see you. Steve needs to go to a rave with that playing. More Brazilian dance event, which is what I'm going to be DJing at this weekend. You'd pay money for that song? Here, pay me. All good. I legit like that track. Only complaint is a little too short. I could do an extended mix. No problem. Welcome everybody, welcome. We have one of our favorite people ever here with us today, and I have been waiting so long to have this person back with us. Hello, Steve. Oh, he's muted. Just a minute, I muted you because you were coughing. There we go.
Oh, I was sneezing, actually. No, I thought you were talking about Dolly. Yeah, it's great to see Dolly on. He's one of my favorite people.
Dolly, hi.
I want to introduce you to something. It's my new friend. It's the tamarind martini.
Ooh, fancy.
Tamarind martini. The tamarind spicy tamarind rim. Yes.
Oh.
Thank you for having me on. And Excited Utterance, thank you for being my buddy. And we're here in Miami, and it's a little windy out. Boy, I'm looking out the window, and it's windy
Just
and
a little
rainy,
windy?
but you know, it's the hurricane is hitting very hard to the north of us. Tampa and Sarasota and Clearwater, St. Pete are just getting hammered. So
Yeah.
anyway,
look, I mean,
let's pray for them. The hurricane is probably going to hit across across the boundary there in the next couple hours. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. You actually used to live exactly where that hurricane's headed, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you moved.
Well, yeah, I'm very familiar with. I'm from Central Florida. It's
Yeah.
basically going to head up the I-4 corridor, which is my stomping grounds. You know, I'm from
Yeah.
Daytona. I was born and raised in Daytona.
Yep.
But I also went to school in Tampa for a year at law school. My first year law school was in Tampa, and so in St. Pete. And I had friends on Indian Rocks Beach, and I stomped all around that area. So, yeah.
You stomped and you stomped.
And I love Tampa. I tell you, Tampa.
Yeah.
I'd say Tampa is one of my favorite cities in Florida. Tampa is great. Tampa,
Yeah.
St. Pete. It's fun. The Bucks are there, and but it's a very dangerous spot for a hurricane because it's low ground, and that Tampa Bay can just funnel water. It looks to me like our hurricane is hitting just to the south, which is a blessing for Tampa Bay because I think the water will be pushed out from Tampa rather than in. But that remains to be seen because Tampa Bay is very low, and there's a lot of flooding areas, and it's a big major city. So very concerned about what's happening tonight.
Very much so, and definitely we're thinking about all those people. We know lots of people from that area, lots of people from chat, lots of people from YouTube. Just
the
lots
lawyer
of people
the lawyer is right there, dead center.
Mr. Tragos, yes, and I'm pretty sure he's living in quite a nice place. But yes, I'm sure. Anyway, Wendy.
I would also say one more thing is there's been a tremendous tornado outbreak.
Yeah.
Over 100 tornadoes.
100?
100 tornadoes.
Jeez. I guess there's
crazy.
Another front coming in from the other direction?
No, it's hurricane spawn. The outer bands spawn tornadoes. And I've never seen tornadoes like Florida gets tornadoes, but they're kind of mild compared to like Kansas. But these were like big monster Kansas-sized tornadoes that came through.
Kansas-sized tornadoes.
Yeah.
Kind of
Kansas,
like the ones, kind of like the ones in Wizard of Oz. Anyway, Wendy, I wanted to say happy future birthday to you because I believe that you are twin birthday with Miss Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone is born on the 10th of the 10th, as are you, Wendy. And here in Australia, it's already the 10th. Yeah. So, happy birthday, Wendy, and happy birthday, Sarah. Happy birthday. And did you know also, Steve from Publicly Buzzed also shares the same birthday, and that really annoys him. But happy birthday to you. I hope you have a wonderful birthday already, because it's already the 10th. Unfortunately, Sarah, I think, already received her birthday present, and she refused it. And that was that plea deal that she was offered on Monday.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big birthday present from the state. A manslaughter offer. You don't think so, Steve?
A gift.
Yes?
A
It
gift.
was a gift, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, she should have snapped that up in a moment. Now, I mean, I don't know what is thinking. She is so. That. She should have taken that immediately.
It felt like it, didn't it? And it makes me wonder what's going on. Do they know something? Like, is there something else going on here?
Or do you think Sarah's just cannot comprehend?
There are clients that just will not accept the reality, and it's a hard thing. I mean, 15 years is a long time.
That's a long time.
And I had a client.
She's done 4.5 of them.
Yeah, but that'd still be another 8 to 10 minimum.
Her record in jail's been good too, by the way. She's kept her nose really clean.
Though?
Yeah, I mean, how to get early release, it's what, 85% in Florida? Mm-hmm. How common is it though?
It's called truth in sentencing.
Okay.
Truth in sentencing requires the person to serve at least 85% of their sentence. So basically, you come in with that credit, and you can screw it up by being bad behaved. But basically, we're a truth in sentencing state, and that means 85%. So if you get 10 years, you're going to do at least 8.5.
Okay.
Right.
So if you don't screw it up, that's when you get out?
Yeah, you'll get out within 85% of your total term. There's a little flex in there, so it's not immediate. Like there's a lot of discretion on the Department of Corrections. They don't really want to keep you in for longer, but they do.
Yeah. All right. So that's why I wanted to discuss this, because I came across an interview with the judge from the Casey Anthony trial. Now, this was a really controversial trial in 2011, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with
2011?
it. 2011 is what they said.
Okay. I thought it was 2008, but yeah, it was around there.
2008.
That may
No,
have been
it was
when
2011 because I was in appeals when that came through, and that case was probably going to land on my desk. So
Oh, geez.
when they got a not guilty, I was celebrating.
What?
You could have had her appeal.
Oh yeah, I was planning on it because I was in the 5th District Court of Appeal, and Orlando was in that district, and so had she gotten convicted, I would have gotten the appeal probably, unless she would have hired private counsel. But
Which-
I was in the public defender's office, and I remember when that decision came down, and I was so happy because it's like, oh, we don't have that record, and the record would have been huge.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So,
Wow.
and I'm just going to fix this up a little bit so we can see what's going on a bit better. All right. Now, remember, the reason we're inside the suitcase is because we're still running our game, which is every time we get to 25 memberships, we are putting new things in the apartments, everybody. So we can play this as much as we like. We're not going to do trivia today, though. But we are still waiting for the trial. So as the trial goes along, that's the game we're playing. So could Owens be Sarah's Jose Baez? That's the game we're playing. So, well, that's what we're talking about today. Jose Baez, this guy here, the lovely tan man. And that is, you are a member for 7 months, Wendy. I love you. You're awesome, and happy birthday.
Yeah,
All
happy
right.
birthday, Wendy H. Good to see you.
Everybody loves Wendy H.
Sure. they do.
Yeah, no trivia today. So no, there won't be a quiz today. Alrighty. Okay, so let's just talk about why we're even comparing, because we don't know yet, right? We haven't seen this guy in action. When I'm talking about James Owens over here, pretty much this is the only hope that she has left. Apart from there being some sort of like, I don't know, even if he were to find some sort of like Brady violation or something like that at the last minute, that's still like incredible lawyering, right? For him to go and find something like that, kind of Spiro style.
It's competent lawyering, and I gotta say, I haven't watched much. I've been kind of out of it, but I will say that I do respect this lawyer for stepping up,
Yeah.
and giving her, like, seeing that she is not getting an attorney,
Yes.
and putting on a defense. I saw that she filed a suppression motion. Now it failed, and we all expected it to fail. But the guy is doing the work. It's not like, oh, I mean, what's he supposed to do? Just say, oh, well, I'm going to fail, so I'm just not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I give up.
Yeah.
I mean, go out there and fight.
And he's
put
high-
out
yeah.
your,
Go ahead,
represent her.
He's
right?
been working his butt off. He really
And he's
has.
asking his friends, other lawyers, to come on and help him and assembling a team.
And that's what our system is. Is like, she is
Supposed to be.
entitled to a defense.
Yeah.
And a good defense, a best defense she can mount. Now, it may not be a meritorious offense. They may just sit back and make sure that the state doesn't cheat. But that's a big function right there, isn't it?
Absolutely. And hello, Andrew. How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah.
You have a link if you would like, but obviously no pressure. Great to have you in chat. Suppression motions work 0% of the time, roughly speaking.
No,
Just roughly,
that's not
hey?
true. Come on, don't listen to this guy.
Well,
It's very fact dependent and law dependent
Okay.
and judge
All
dependent.
right.
It's dependent.
So, who is Jose Baez? Like, if you've been living under a rock, or maybe if you're in Australia, you might not know who he is, who Jose Baez is. So let's just have a little bit of a look. Now, he's this badass criminal defense attorney in Florida who won the most unwinnable case ever, right? And you may have heard of Casey Anthony. Now, the facts against her were pretty bad, right? Yeah, I mean, you're a little bit biased here, Dali. The facts against her were pretty bad.
Coverage against her was very biased, making it very difficult for her to be successful.
Yes.
I believe.
Well, but I would say, one of the things Jose had going for him in that case is that the state way overcharged it. Now, I think they should have charged it on some kind of negligent homicide or something
Yes.
that would, because there was no evidence of first degree intent. on her part. There was just no evidence.
None.
And so what he did is he locked the state down on that and just pounded them and said, they haven't proven their case. That's not guilty. And, when the state sticks their neck out, chop.
Yeah.
So, competent, smart
Yes.
on top of it. And that's what it takes to win cases. It's difficult. It's not easy to win cases.
And see, Beautiful Waterfall, and like I get it. I can see why everyone's saying I don't think he's going to pull out of Baez, and I think it's like 99% not likely to either. But we don't know. We haven't seen him in action, right? And when you look at Baez in action, it's about his courtroom demeanour. He's so good at appealing to the jurors, right? He's such an eloquent speaker. He adapts and he changes and he moves with the way the trial is moving. We just haven't seen Owens in action. We don't know what he's like. He's a wild card, right? So what if it turns out that he's much better at this than the prosecutor, right? And he manages to get the jury to feel really sorry for Sarah.
Well, a little insight into the prosecutor too. It's funny.
Yeah.
My dad knew his dad. I mean, back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
The prosecutor's dad was friends with my dad. And Sammy Cacciatore, he was a civil litigator in Central Florida. And so his son is now a prosecutor. And from what I've seen, he's chip off the old block, and he's a very cool, fair, straightforward prosecutor. And that's great. I mean, we need more of them. We need lots more of them. They all need to be that way, but it's going to be hard.
I'll do that now.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for them to maneuver around that now. And also, the judge has been pretty cool too. Been very clean. Everything's been pretty clean and straight by the book, and that's the way all criminal trials should be. But you don't, when you got it in the bag, you don't need to stick your neck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I thought I sent Sean a link. Okay.
I just sent Sean one.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet. Okay. I told you before I was like shuffling lawyers earlier. All right, cool. Okay, so, and also Beautiful Waterfall, I think it's different in front of just a judge as it is in front of a jury. That's kind of different. But I also wanted to talk about that because if you thought Sarah was unpopular right now, Casey Anthony could arm wrestle her for the title, right? People hated her.
True.
People hated her. Like, she's super unpopular right now, but Casey Anthony, oh my God. Right? Oh my God. So, now, even though Baez was a rookie lawyer at the time, he was never afraid, and he called himself that, right?
Well, and the media at the time mocked him for it, being this Kissimmee lawyer, I think. And
where's your link? I sent it to you, didn't I? I did.
God, Hella, why aren't you
Goodness
sending out
me.
links?
All right, hang on just a minute.
But yeah, the media was really going hard on Baez and just making fun of him every time he got yelled at by the judge. And it, I think, caught them all flat-footed when he actually won and had that kind of victory lap of, yeah, I knew what I was doing all along.
Well, and also a little personal insight too, having dealt with Baez personally. I know it's not in your slideshow, but we did the Virgilio Aguilar Mendez case. And so I've dealt with Jose personally, and I know his team. Of course, my friend Rosemarie is also in his team. And one of the things he has a human compassion. And this is the thing. It's like so many prosecutors just are arrogant, and they want to they want to be like the smartest person, and they don't have a lot of likability or personal breadth. There's a certain amount of depth and human character that it takes to be a good defense lawyer or a good lawyer generally. Being a human, having a human connection to a jury is extremely important, and he has got that in spades. I mean, I'll tell you, he just has a compassion that you just have to kind of be around to understand.
It's genuine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can vouch for it. He is a real human being that is like got that human connection, and he's riveting. He's riveting
Yeah.
to listen
Yes.
to.
Okay, we have a guest. And who was it? Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi. How's
Hey,
it going?
Andrew.
Been a while.
Hey guys.
It's been ages. Hi. Oops, where'd he go?
I don't know.
There we go. Oh, no, he's there.
Is he?
Oh, no. Is he gone?
No, he left the studio.
Oh, gone.
Well, it was just a
Real
little
human being.
secret peek.
He's just teasing us.
Oh, a little.
He left because Nancy Grace is on screen.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what
I
it
don't
is.
blame him.
Yeah. Because I was just about to show you guys how the media coverage was before trial.
Nope, there he is. Back.
Andrew! How are you? Dude,
Way too much stuff happening on my computer.
it's
Hey,
been
thanks for the invite. I
20,000
appreciate it.
years. Oh, and we have Sean too.
All right,
Goodness
Sean.
me.
Look at
Hey,
this.
Sean.
Hey, Bronca. Hi, Steve.
Hey, how you doing, Sean? Good to see you.
I don't expect I can add much value. I haven't really followed the case, but maybe
No.
Well, it is a
we're just having
self-defense
fun.
case. Self-defense case.
It
You
is.
do your
In
analysis on
theory.
this one.
It is. It became a self-defense case like, what, 3 weeks ago?
well,
Yes.
then I might have to follow it. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure you won't
But
make
yeah.
anyone annoyed.
No, not at
It'll
all.
be your first case you cover. It's going to have 0 of 4 elements.
Yes.
Well, it'll be what? It's going to be a battered spouse syndrome case, right?
Yes.
Is how
Yeah.
It is.
They
It
never
is.
have. They never have actual self-defense. That's why they have a special category, battered spouse syndrome. If it was actual self-defense, you wouldn't need that.
No. Well, I mean, the weapon is a suitcase. So, yeah, there's that. Okay, so welcome, Andrew. It's so good to have you. I have not seen you in, it feels like 24 years.
These new glasses are terrible.
And Steve also, it's like, I haven't had either of you guys on in about,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's got to be at least
Months.
3 months. It's got to be at least 3 months. So it's like, it's like the summer is over and you
Yeah, we're
guys come
back in school.
Yeah, and Sean, hey.
Yes, hello.
Blogger. Hey, Blogger, how's it going, mate?
It's going well.
Yeah, mate.
Going really good. Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all how the pre-trial publicity looked for Casey Anthony. Because what we're doing is we're comparing just how unpopular Casey Anthony was compared to Miss Sarah Boone. Because Sarah Boone is super duper duper unpopular. Right? So the public narrative around Sarah Boone right now is just that she's so insufferable, it's all her fault. It can't possibly have been the decedent who is supposedly the battered. He was battered. People think he was the battered one, right? Whereas they're going to go to trial and the defense is going to say, actually, he beat on her. Okay. Now, we're just going to watch a teensy bit of this because I'm so sorry to give you any Nancy Grace.
Yeah.
So even though Baez was a rookie lawyer at the time, he was never afraid to get out of the media and stand up for his client. So here he is pre-trial dealing with the Nancy.
Oh, I didn't know you.
Happy to have with us tonight Jose Baez. Mr. Baez, thank you for being with
Oh
us.
my God, look at
Thank
him.
you for having me.
Mr. Baez, it's my understanding that police have
Hello?
discounted the tipster because
What?
I'm really sorry, but it's buffering.
Oh, you're so sorry.
Not buffering, but like skipping. Like, yeah, well, I am sorry. Yeah. Send me the Canva link and I'll run it.
No, it's all right. You can have the video URL. It's all right.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hella has Australian internet issues.
I do.
She has internet that doesn't exist.
Basically.
Kind of like that. I just bought a brand new router to try and fix it after a bunch of other things that had gone wrong. I think I might know what it is actually, but I can just give you the private
Okay.
chat link in a minute. There you go.
What's a half Irish? That sounds like a crime.
in chat.
There you go.
Okay.
Or good drink.
Half a drink.
Have a drink.
I got a new drink, by the way, Andrew. It's called a
It was like
tamarind martini.
Vodka martini or
Tamarind.
gin?
This one's vodka. It's tamarind vodka. Yeah.
Yeah, vodka's the way to go for martinis. Gin is poison. No offense, Commonwealth people.
I
Commonwealth.
like gin. Gin's my drink.
Oh,
Gin is what I used to take shellac off of boats.
Shut up. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
With us tonight, Jose Baez. Mr. Baez, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Baez.
Look at that suit.
I
I gotta get one of those for Halloween. That's great.
Baez, it's my understanding that police
God,
have
darling.
discounted the tips.
That audio compressor thing of yours, you've got to turn it down.
Look at those lips. Oh my god. That's right out of a sex shop.
Like the scene of Super Troopers where he's staring at the billboard.
Oh, dude, I missed you, man.
Poor Baez is just like trying to look in the right spot.
Hell is that?
Yeah.
Like, up here to Jose.
He's like, I need to blank this out from my mind.
You don't have like a hot dog graphic?
The
You can throw
tipster,
that
a woman.
in? Like a bucket full of hot dogs?
That meme.
Happy to have with us tonight, Jose Baez. Mr.
God.
Baez, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Baez, it's my understanding that police have discounted the tipster because the tipster, a woman, could not give a flight number or a date for the flight to Atlanta. Is that true?
No, that's not true at all. In fact, we know the dates, we know the airline, we know the destination. So I believe that's all being worked out. This is the first I'm hearing that they've discounted it. In fact, we find it to be a very credible lead because the entire family spoke with Kaylee.
Could you give us then that information, the date, the airline? We know the destination was Atlanta.
Well, unfortunately, I wrote it down and I don't have it with me right now. But I do know that
Like your phone
is
number.
a very credible lead. And some of the things that what we find very credible about it is, A, it's an entire family. It's not just one person. B, the information that was gathered. Apparently, the way Kaylee said her name is what really is encouraging the family because only the family would know exactly how she would say her name. And
Without the H, Anthony.
exactly, Antony, exactly. And not only that, she also includes her middle
Look at
name when she says her
Nancy.
name. When someone asks her what's her name, she says Kaylee Marie Antony.
Marie. Well, anyone that has
Okay.
watched this news story knows her name is Kaylee Marie Anthony.
Yes, but someone might, you'd have to make the conclusion that she wouldn't just say Kaylee Anthony. And also the Antony is also very encouraging. We're also, this all happened in an airport, so we're going to be able to verify certain things, but everything that we've
Could you please
all
fast
the
forward
information
to
we've been,
9 minutes in?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
she actually told us.
Perfect date.
Is it 9 minutes? A little bit less.
Why
maybe
would she
8
lie
minutes.
about something as
8?
8 minutes, yeah.
my experience that
He's very experienced.
Yeah.
fabricated this?
No, I'm under the belief, and it's my experience.
Okay. You're
What
in that's
is
weird
this?
too.
No,
Some
no.
kind of rapper thing.
Yeah,
Happy
okay.
to have
Now you gotta drop
He's gonna finish in just a second.
the beat drop.
I think it should work.
I just
getting
wanted to
close.
see
And it's
him because she's about to tell him that I understand about your attorney-client privilege, but surely you have to understand that we just want to find Kaylee. It's Kaylee, isn't it? Or Casey. Casey.
Kaylee.
We just want to find Casey.
Kaylee.
Is Casey's? Oh, Kaylee. God, why do they sound the same?
Anthony.
What?
Anthony.
Yeah. Why don't you want to tell us, Mr. Baez? Why won't you tell us? Why won't you organize a meeting with the police?
Oh, here, I got it.
This
Yeah,
image
that-
right here looks like Jose Baez runs an escort service and Nancy Grace just got fired.
Yeah, and he's really
My-
like he's fantastic at handling this woman,
Yeah, I'm sorry,
obviously.
We can't use you here.
Experience that, number one, you don't always believe everything you read in a police report. You verify it, and you do your job, and you do your investigation. So that's part of my investigation that I have not had the opportunity to do yet because my client is locked up, and the only one who can take me to where she took the police would be my client. And I'm hoping to have the opportunity to do that relatively shortly.
Well, another thing that is concerning Mr. Baez, everyone with us tonight is the attorney for Kelly's mom, Casey Anthony, a veteran trial lawyer, Jose Baez, joining us out of the Orlando, Florida jurisdiction. It's my understanding that she also told police she worked at Universal Studios and actually took them there, all the way there in the car, got out of the car, walked up to where she said she worked, and then finally turns around and says, you know what, I don't work here. As it turned out, she was fired from there. So why would she lie about something as innocent as where she worked?
You know, again, that goes along the same lines. I don't know if she actually told that to the police. I don't know if that actually occurred the way they say it occurred.
All right. Can we go back to my screen, please? Nancy Grace is a pain in the ass, basically. And she's really, really good at sowing the seeds of guilt with the public and doing so in such a way that people are absolutely sold on this person being guilty long before they go to trial. And then someone like Jose Baez has the balls to go and actually be on her ground, like on her turf.
Be a defense lawyer.
Yeah.
Prove it, MFer.
Yeah, and I don't know how often I've actually seen a defense lawyer go and take her on. How many people have noticed someone like that actually
Might
going
just be
and
she
doing
doesn't
that?
have the good ones on normally. I mean, this is what every defense lawyer is supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Hold the process. Listen, as defense lawyers, we don't know if sometimes we do, but generally we're supposed to pretend we don't know if our clients are guilty of the crime or not. But our job is to compel the state to prove our client guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Jose Baez is just doing what every defense attorney is supposed to be doing here. It's
supposed to be doing. Yeah, absolutely. And he's doing it right now with the Shannon Gardner case, for example. Like with the Shannon Gardner case, he's getting out on the steps and doing press conferences and going, you know what? The state currently are tampering with evidence. And they are colluding with the detective, the lead investigator. And he's committing perjury. There is a bunch of really shady stuff going on with the death penalty case right now in Florida. And he has no problem getting right out there and doing press conferences. It's really unusual to see a defense attorney have such balls, basically.
I think you really have to do it today with these high-profile cases because, it's so when these cases become this politicized and this energized, there are forces on the prosecution and the judge and a jury that don't exist in a normal criminal prosecution. And these are the forces of what the world thinks is the right answer, right? What people have been brainwashed into believing by months and months of propaganda. And this should not influence a judge, for example, in their rulings, but it does. It does. Yeah. And it in terms of the prosecution, I mean, if they've brought you to trial, they want you convicted. They're already committed to that. But it's almost like attacking the, how can I put it, the esprit de corps of the prosecutor. You know, if they know the entire world is going to champion them for bringing this prosecution, nothing will ever stop them. But if they also hear other voices that, hey, maybe this person is innocent, well, then it becomes something closer to a traditional prosecution and less like because if it's a purely political prosecution, they win either way. Either they get the conviction or they don't get the conviction, but they get all the political capital from having tried the case. And that's a place you definitely don't want to be as a defendant.
Well, a good example of that, and Andrew is very familiar with this one, is the political prosecution. What was it? That came in from Jacksonville, the Zimmerman case.
Yeah.
You know, and that was one in which the politics of it were such that the prosecutor's going to champion, and the local prosecutor refused to prosecute it.
He resigned.
He resigned. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And they had to bring in because it's like, and that's a political prosecution. So if you're going to have prosecutors politically prosecuting people, then there's got to be blowback. There's got to be the ability of the other side to also bring politics to bear to ameliorate damages from political prosecutions.
Also, the jurors have to know, right? I mean, if the jurors believe that if I vote to acquit, and acquittal has to be unanimous, right? So if I vote to acquit, everyone in the jury, if this person's acquitted, knows that everyone in the jury voted to acquit. If I have to go back to my community and the entire world thinks this person is, some kind of horrible, whatever, Nazi, racist, murderer, monster, and I voted to acquit them, I can't live in that community anymore.
Yeah.
So there has to be some offsetting narrative where people can feel safe in arriving at a verdict that they feel is appropriate for the legal arguments and evidence that they've been presented with.
All right, so, and he didn't mind a little gloat afterwards once there was an acquittal. So after Anthony's acquittal, Baez wrote a book about the tainted narrative, I had to say tainted, narrative of the case and his win despite all odds.
Very good book.
It was very good. Yes, it was called Presumed Guilty, Casey Anthony, The Insider Story. So I think the trial went for 3 or 4 weeks. And
it was a long. I just remember that I knew that the record was going to be absurdly big, and so I was just, all I remember is like, I'm so happy we didn't do that appeal.
Yeah,
it was over. I think almost 40 days or over 40 days.
Yeah, it was a long trial.
It was a long trial, and
but, one of the things he championed, or one of the things that really became popularized through his defense, was the chart, the reasonable doubt chart.
Oh yeah,
which had the graph
beautiful.
about. That was beautiful, and we have one in our office. Or we
what year was this trial?
2011.
2011.
George Zimmerman?
Oh yeah, so it was just
2011,
just
2012.
before the Zimmerman trial. Zimmerman did the same thing. They did it. I've seen defense lawyers try to do this, and the judge won't allow it. But in the Zimmerman case, they actually did it during voir dire. So before the formal trial had actually started, and they showed this chart to the prospective jurors and said,
I need to find this chart.
Here's a preponderance of the evidence. Here's clear and convincing evidence. None of that is guilty for my client. The state has to prove them guilty. I'll raise my hand above the camera, but all the way up here, beyond a reasonable doubt. The judge will instruct you on that, prospective jurors. Will you look me in the eye right now and tell me you commit to that legal standard? Of course, they all nod. And then what happens is, because they heard that at the start, they all filter all the evidence they hear through that standard. Normally what happens in a criminal trial is they don't hear that standard until the end. And by the end, they've already decided whether or not they think the person's
right.
guilty.
Yeah. All right.
Well, and you were talking about the humanity of Baez, is that one of the advantages of that is the jury selection part of it. I've seen cases won in jury selection, a lot of cases. And, having that human ability to read people and to convey your points in jury selection is critical.
That whole pre-trial, we call it preliminary hearings and stuff like that. It makes it sound unimportant. This is actually defining the battlefield for the entire trial.
Oh, yeah.
So it controls everything.
Yeah.
And that's like why we're
Very
watching
true.
them more as well. Like I've noticed that like we're following the pre-trials so much more as trial watchers.
Well, I think that sheriff down in Kentucky, his preliminary hearing was very interesting in the stuff that it revealed.
Wasn't
And once again, it's shaping the field before you take.
Was it televised?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't see
They
it.
showed the
Okay.
video.
Oh yeah, you can see the video too.
Yeah.
Oh, the video I saw. Yeah, I got a copy of that. That's. I mean, what can you say about that except he obviously intentionally shot the guy a bunch of times.
Yeah. Well, I'm just surprised they showed it on TV live, but they went through, and the lead investigator. There's a lot of interesting. There's a lot to it.
Oh yeah, and there's so much more coming out now. But that's the thing. Like people are invested right from the get-go, from the very first hearing, and they want to see all of the hearings following it. And it's been like the same with Koberger, for example. People are watching every hearing that's available to be seen.
Well, that's a media point. I mean, like a popular observation of the trial point, and well worth making. But from my perspective, what's decided in the preliminary hearings is what the jury gets to hear.
Yes.
And that's the only thing the jury's supposed to use to arrive at a verdict.
Well, and that's what you're seeing happen now in Sarah Boone. You're seeing this defense attorney trying to craft what the jury is going to hear, because
Right.
her statements, her confessions, her statements to the police are terrible, are damning. Not just
Yeah.
and so he's trying to keep that out. Now, you got to make the attempt, because it's much harder to deal with those statements, right? So a good defense lawyer is going to, give it a shot. If he won that motion, if he somehow got it suppressed, and I've argued that on appeal, that defective Miranda rights, and there's some good case law on that. I mean, it's worthwhile bringing it up when you've got nothing else. So yes, he made the attempt, and as a good defense attorney should. I mean, you bring those issues to the fore. What are you going to do? You don't just say, oh, well, she's guilty, to hell with it all.
I guess
That's not
even if
a-
you don't
that's-
think it's going to work in the moment, right? You have to do it at least to preserve it for appeal purposes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So Casey Anthony needed a lawyer of this caliber to save her from a murder conviction. Could James Owens have those winning courtroom skills Sarah Boone needs to secure a not guilty? Let's see. Well, remember, we haven't seen him in action yet. Those are big shoes to fill. Can James be the next Jose? I don't know. that's yeah.
We're going from 0 to 60 pretty quick here.
Yeah. That's pushing it. But you never know. He is likable, right? This guy he's definitely more likable than the prosecutor. So we've got Mr. J and we've got Mr. Cacciatore. I'm not sure if we'll see Mr. Cacciatore in the actual proceedings or not. He's been a bit quiet lately. Mr. J's taken more of a front seat. But we'll see. So let's look at what the judge in Casey Anthony's case had to say about Jose Baez winning strategy. And I'll just send this to Mr. Can you...
This morning we are shining a...
I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me.
I'll send it to you just in case. All right. Thank you to my lovely co-host. Cool. All right, so this is what I really wanted to show you all, because this is what got me onto this whole train of thinking. This interview with Judge Belvin Perry. So he was the judge in the Casey Anthony case.
Belvin Perry.
And he goes through, he's quite complimentary to Mr. Baez, and he goes through some of the ways that he believes that Mr. Baez won over the jury.
Yeah.
And can we then push this back, or forward, in time and go, okay, what could Mr. Owens do to take a leaf out of Mr. Baez's book and potentially win over the jury for Ms. Boone? Or are the facts just too damning? Is there just nothing that could possibly get past these facts? So let's go. Dallas.
And after the video, I'd like your thoughts also on Perry, unless you aren't able to talk about it.
No,
I don't know if he's retired. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I can talk about Belvin. Yeah, sure. He's kind of a legendary old judge. He's a good old, he was very well respected, kind of a straight shooter. And Belvin Perry is a well respected judge in this area. There's a lot of good judges out there, and
Okay.
So he was
fewer every year.
Yeah, fewer every year. Andrew, I love it.
This morning, we are shining a spotlight on well-known criminal defense attorney Jose Baez. He's no stranger to high-profile cases. In fact, he perhaps represented the most recognized, or was most recognized for a successful defense of the woman once known as the most hated mother in America, Casey Anthony.
When everything is said and done, the one question will never be answered. The key question in this case will never be answered. It can never be proven. And that is, how did Kaylee die? They're hoping they throw enough against the wall and see what sticks. That's what they're doing here. Let's throw it all against the wall and see what sticks. I'm not proud of the way Casey behaved. I don't think anybody here can justify her actions, but they do not constitute murder.
As to the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
And now Baez is set.
Don't pause for a sec. That's interesting. Imagine if that was James Owens talking about Boone. I'm not proud of the things she did. I'm not proud of the way she conducted herself, right? I'm not proud of the things she said in that video, but it does not constitute murder.
Well, the problem is you have different facts.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so it's a little different. I mean, I remember watching that case, and I remember because somebody, I think it was Luke here, saying, was I watching it for, you know, why was I watching it for the issue spotting? Because sometimes I pay. Well, that's how I met Andrew Branca, because I thought I was going to get the Zimmerman case too.
Oh, really?
And so I was following it, and and I was again celebrating when he got a not guilty. And Andrew Branca had the best commentary over illegal insurrection that I saw. And I reached out to him and said, "Hey, great job!" And he reached back and said, "Have you seen my book?" Yeah, there it is.
Have you seen mine?
But you know, but the facts are big, and the state was really overreaching in that case. And you know, Jose had a lot to work with, and he could use that. Whereas Sarah Boone, I don't know. I don't. It's not a factually.
Yeah. What you want is the facts to be on your client's side. You want the law to be on your client's side, and then you want the kind of the emotional stuff as a icing on the cake, right? So to make sure you cover that, because human beings are emotional creatures and jurors are just human beings. Where you don't want to be is the facts suck, the law sucks, and all you have is no cake and only icing, right? You can sometimes win there, but the probabilities are not good.
You know, and it's funny because in the public defender's office, I remember a lot of our prosecutors would say that the close cases were the hard ones to win because the jury wants to solve the puzzle like Murder, She Wrote, you know, and I know the answer, and they want to be the so. Whereas if you've got it, sometimes the cases that had like all kinds of evidence, people are like, something's wrong here, and you know, they'd get not guilties on the difficult or the easy one, so to speak. You know, I don't know. Juries are fickle creatures, and you really have to have that. Or just put your best into each case and let the jury decide.
Well, I mean, okay, so I'm coming to this, and no, I don't, Justin. I don't care about her being innocent. It's not that. I'm interested in the legal arguments, and I find trials that are just slam dunk one way kind of boring, to be honest. So here's the deal, and see this thing that Mads just said. Sarah doesn't even have the emotions on her side. You just wait. You just wait, because I think what Owens is about to do is he's about to make her look like exactly what he's arguing, and that is a battered woman, right? So I think that he is about to point the finger big time at George, right? And there's going to be testimony as such. There's going to be witnesses to come forth with this testimony. I think there's going to be Sarah herself going on at length about the years of torment and her being fearful of her life. And yeah, he's going to be trying everything possible to make that jury feel like, oh my God, poor Sarah. So we'll see how successful he is at that. But yeah, saying Sarah doesn't even have the emotion on her side.
The prosecutor has a trick. They've got to be careful. The prosecutors have to be careful not to take their case for granted and not to be arrogant. I mean, if you remember the Parkland shooter case, I actually got to talk to the jurors, the non-death voting jurors. I got to talk to at a death penalty conference. We spent my wife and I spent about a half hour talking to one of those life-giving jurors, and it was fascinating because they saw. Because the picture of the Parkland shooter was one of a kid who had been bullied his whole life, and these kids that he targeted had bullied him, right? And he was very blank, and he had this fetal alcohol syndrome. And she says that during the trial, all the prosecutors were so arrogant and so spiteful that it was like she saw the same bullying that was perpetrated on him in the high school, and the prosecutors were echoing it. And so, you know, you got to be careful. Humanity is here, and the jurors are humans, and they're going to see human interactions. If you come in there like, this guy, you know, they're inhuman and scum and deserve death. Yeah. You know, wait a second now. That's not a very human way of dealing with things. It's much better to come in with humility, respect, professionalism. That's the way a prosecutor should deal with it. So these prosecutors need to be careful that they don't come in thinking they got this in the bag. That could be how I would say prosecutorial mistake and arrogance is a way that Boone could get not guilty.
That's
How do
very
you like them?
interesting. Yeah, how you like that now? How you like that? See, this is where I'm going with this, right? Because I think that Owens is actually super likable. Like, he's really folksy. He's a sweet old man. Yeah, and if he has a real way of relating to the jury and he can make people feel like, hey, this poor lady, like, she actually was scared all this time. Maybe, just maybe, the jury might be like, hey, the prosecutors are meanies. Yeah. It's possible. Like, who knows?
So can I share a personal anecdote here? So about a year or two after the George Zimmerman trial, which I covered very intensively, I got invited to, and of course, a key issue in that trial was this stand your ground law that they made sound like it was something unique to Florida. It was like you could just kill people you didn't like, is how they were characterizing it. I got invited out to UC Berkeley Law School in a debate on stand your ground, and I figured, well, why not? I'll go. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be annihilated in the debate. And but when I flew out to California, I met up with a guy. Some of you probably know him. The actor, not Alec Baldwin, but Adam Baldwin. Yeah. Adam Baldwin from Firefly and a bunch of other stuff. I was meeting him for the first time. And we were at this Irish pub having drinks, and I told him I'm going to this debate at UC Berkeley, and I'm going to bring fire and brimstone down on these people. I'd been called a racist for 6 months covering this trial, and he just got acquitted. And now,
he's stunned.
Oh no!
Oh boy!
Oh no!
Well, it's stunning.
That is a great. Is he freeze on? Oh,
these are college kids. You have
no,
to talk
you froze
to them.
for like 10 seconds.
Oh, I did. So,
yeah.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
Telling Adam Baldwin about being called racist.
All right. So I was going to this debate, and he said, Adam said, well, you can't go in there with fire and brimstone. These are college kids. These are law school kids. You have to go in there with empathy, which was completely not my nature. But I thought I slept on it that night, and I went to Berkeley the next day, and my whole debate pitch basically was like, listen, we all wish this hadn't happened. We all wish Trayvon Martin was still alive. But everything that George Zimmerman did was within the law. And our system of justice says if that's the case, you have to acquit. And I won that debate. I couldn't believe it. In UC Berkeley, they take a vote before and a vote after, and I won. And I'm one of the most contentious,
you got $100.
supposedly racist, criminal prosecutions ever. And
did you have to return the T-shirt?
No, I didn't get a T-shirt. They were actually very nice. I was looking forward to like wild protests and stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't get any of that.
Try going there in 24.
I was very disappointed. But I think there's a lot of truth to this. I think you have to have I guess today we would call it what? Not IQ, but EQ, right? Emotional intelligence. Because a lot of us, I shouldn't speak for you, but I tend to take a very intellectual, academic kind of approach to the law. These are the rules, and this is how it should be applied.
Yeah.
But of course, it's not a computer. It's not just a black box with a handle on the side that you crank and you get justice out the other end. That box is full of human beings, emotional human beings. We're all sinners, all that kind of stuff. And if you don't take that into account, you can make the most compelling intellectual argument you've ever made. And unless your jury is 12 people who are Spock from Star Trek, you could still lose.
Yeah.
What was the
That's
juror?
absolutely true.
There was a juror trial with a Spock. Remember which case was that? Remember the Vulcan and the person got on the jury and they believed in the Federation precepts.
Oh no!
It was some high-profile case.
Well, and did he have to take an oath to Spock or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Matt says, "Hello, if I give you 1 to 10 odds, will you bet on Sarah not being convicted? What would I bet?" Mate, I don't think she's going to not get convicted. This is purely for discussion point. So
Demonstrative purposes.
Yeah, look, I find trials that are a slam dunk one way to be boring as batshit. So, and I find it really odd that so much of the law or trial watching community is so quick to just go, oh yeah, guilty, and it's over, and they don't even want to have a conversation about it. Like, you're not even interested in discussing the legal arguments and getting into any sort of debate about it. You're just like, okay, and I'm not saying you, I'm just generally, okay, cool, yeah, what the prosecutor said, that's true. It's so infuriating to me. It's like there's no mystery, there's no argument. It's just boring. So why? Yeah. What's that?
No, yeah, okay. So the trial of Little Rock, Arkansas. It was in Arkansas. Governor Jim Guy Tucker, and one of the jurors showed up for jury duty wearing a Star Trek uniform.
Do you have the picture? The picture is great.
Great.
Is there one? Let me see.
Oh, the picture's the everything. That's what you got to hear. I put it in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, great.
I'll pull that up. Let me keep this going.
That to once again defend a perhaps hated woman in Florida, as he has been hired to represent Shanna Gardner, the woman facing the potential of the death penalty after the state has accused her of being the mastermind in the murder for hire plot that killed her ex-husband, Microsoft executive Jared Bridegan. So will Baez be successful yet again in Florida? It is our honor to bring in, to break it all down, someone who has seen Baez in action. The judge who presided over Casey Anthony's trial, Judge Belvin Perry Jr. Judge Perry, it is so great to have you on and to see you. You have many official titles, but I feel like an unofficial one that is so appropriate is during that trial, the way that you handled it, you got the title of America's Judge. So it's our honor to have you on. Can you talk about what stood out to you in seeing Jose Baez defending Casey Anthony all those years ago?
Number one, Mr. Baez knew how to relate to a jury. Number two, Mr. Baez studied his case. He knew the facts backwards and forward. And the major thing that I admired about Mr. Baez, he was able to make what I call those mid-trial adjustments to make his case relevant to the jury so that they will buy his point of view. So Mr. Baez is the master of preparation.
Preparation is so key in these cases, and jurors pick up on how prepared an attorney is, and it's always an accolade for an attorney to hear a judge say that they seem prepared. Can you talk about any adjustments that you saw that you think may be relevant in this case that he is defending now? Do you think jurors, as far as in Florida, are going to remember him from the Casey Anthony trial?
I think there will be some jurors that will remember him, but the unique ability that Mr. Baez has, he knows how to relate to those 12 individuals that will be sitting in that jury box, and he will fashion his case to fit those particular individuals. Most lawyers don't do that. They go in with a plan, and they don't care whether or not the jury is a size 7 or a size 12. They're going to try to slam it down their throats. But Mr. Baez will tell her his case. He can't tell her the fact, but he will tell her his case to appear and appeal to that jury.
And no doubt there will be some comments about it during a jury selection process, perhaps. They may ask if they recognize him. There may be some jurors who raise their hand. We don't know. I'm always struck at how comfortable he seems, not only in front of the courtroom, in front of a judge, but also in front of the cameras. And our cameras caught up with him at the hearing that happened last week. Let's play a bit of a clip from that, Judge.
Miss Gardner has not had a lot of positive publicity.
Okay, so that was really interesting.
And real quick, sorry, the Star Trek juror.
There she is.
She wore this to jury duty.
She's hiding it.
Yeah.
Actually, nowadays that seems pretty normal.
Well,
I'm sure he would have spoken in what's their language? They have a language, don't they?
English?
No,
Wait, who's
Star
that
Trek
language?
people.
Oh,
Star
Klingon?
Trek people. Klingon, yeah. He might have even done a translation in Klingon for that juror, if it were Jose Baez, because he speaks directly to each juror.
True.
Yes, he fashions the case for each juror. So I found that very interesting, because what the judge just said was he fashions his case for every particular juror that's there. So most most attorneys don't do that. Most attorneys work out what their strategy is going to be and they shove it at the jury that's there. Whereas what Mr. Baez does is he looks at those 12 people and he molds the way he's going to present to those particular people, and makes adjustments based on the way perhaps that they're reacting.
Actually,
that's what I got from that. Yeah.
Andrew Branca interviewed Rosemary Peoples on the the case, and where we talked about picking people that were firearm or firearm adjacent. It was a self-defense case and use of a firearm in which the person, the decedent, the person that was killed, did not have a firearm, and the shooter was defending himself with a firearm against a barehanded opponent.
Right.
And
so he shot an unarmed guy.
Yeah, and so we Andrew did about a year or so back, did a great interview with my buddy Rosemary,
who now works for Jose Baez, right?
Who now works for Jose Baez and is representing Shannon Gardner.
Okay.
And yes, and in fact, I think did you cover the Arthur hearing that Rosemary did?
I did not. No.
No, I think did Excited Utterance?
Did I cover what? Sorry, the Shannon Gardner hearing?
Did you cover the Arthur hearing and the Shannon Gardner case?
Yeah, I think we did.
The most recent one, yes.
Yeah. So
was that
so
the
that
Arthur
was
hearing? Yeah.
Yes. Well, that was the motion for sanctions that the prosecution was basically falsifying evidence at the Arthur hearing. Yeah. So there's probably going to be another Arthur hearing, I would think, based on the fact that they put perjured testimony on knowingly in the Shannon Gardner Arthur hearing. Yeah.
And is Roseanne Peoples on that?
Yes, she's representing.
They're in trouble. She's very good. She's a very, very smart attorney.
She's very smart. And this is the thing. Actually, I was going to play, but I thought we were going to run out of time, and we probably will. But there was Jose Baez made a 5-minute argument to the court regarding the evidence that was put forth by the state in the Shannon Gardner case, and they actually put forth text messages about there being a hitman hired 5 years before the actual event, and they missed out one message, and it was a very important message, LOL. So they were joking. They actually missed out the LOL, which made it sound like they were being serious. The LOL was actually a really important message, because with that message taken out of the message chain, it looked like, do you know somebody who could do the job? Yes, I know some people. And then they just go on and talk about more stuff. Without
it's
the
right
LOL
out of my
in
cousin
between.
Vinny, right?
Yeah,
I killed the guy.
It was ridiculous.
I shot the clerk.
I shot the clerk. And exactly. And then also showing some financial transactions that without the year on them. So without putting the year on there, it looked like it could have been the year of the hit, where it wasn't. So it
was like 5 years old or something?
It was 5 years old.
Think about if they accused Andrew Branca of killing his ex-wife, right? And they went back and pulled like 10 years of his tweets. Yeah. I'm sure we could construct something that would look pretty bad looking on Andrew.
By the way,
right?
I don't think she can be killed.
I better hope she doesn't end up dead one day.
Maybe just get like a pile of water though and like throw it. Like, yeah. But anyway,
she could be melted, right?
Crazy. And he's taken this case on clearly because there's enough there. Like he knows that it's a potential winner, this case.
Well, and the question is, and the thing is, they have to prove conspiracy, and conspiracy is an agreement. Well, what evidence of agreement is there?
Yes, none, zero.
Not, and so people say, "Oh, well, that person, we know she did it, right?" Yeah, but there needs to be evidence, and if you have to falsify the only evidence, as a prosecutor, you're in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And David, you can get in if you want to come in. You have admin link if you want to come in.
By the way, any prosecutor who falsifies evidence in a criminal case should serve the sentence of the conviction.
Yeah.
Well,
case.
I mean, we saw that today actually in the Young Thug trial, where they're like, the car was riddled with bullets, and the judge is like, was it really riddled? And she's like, well, there were some bullet holes, and the judge is like, how many bullet holes? One. I mean, but yes, that is it's a very common thing to, it's hyperbole and exaggeration. You wouldn't think that would be in a prosecutor's toolkit, but it is.
Dali, did you want to continue with where you were?
Where was I?
You were playing something.
Who am I? Why am I here?
The video?
The job gets a lot harder when you have a bunch of lawyers on the show.
It does. And I just wondered, while you're doing that, I'll just thank Ms. Wendy for the 1999 super chat. I'm tithing a percentage of my birthday dollar to Hella. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. Thank you very much for the 1999 super chat. It's your birthday, not mine. Happy
Wendy H
birthday.
is my roller coaster buddy. You know, we got on roller coasters in Dollywood together.
See, you've got more balls than I do. I wouldn't do that.
They were little baby roller coasters.
Oh, cute. All right, let's keep going.
And there have been many statements made about her without her having the opportunity to really respond. And I'm sorry, when you have the police, as well as numerous federal agencies, and one of the largest investigations in Duval County ever against you, it's probably best you're not out there on a soapbox speaking to the media and responding to every little theory that any blogger decides to come up with.
Facing off against bad.
Hey.
Sean, you blogger. Every blogger. Dear me. It's probably a good thing he's not here. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Keep going.
Publicity now, he says, and he definitely had to deal with that back in 2011. Judge Perry, can you talk about how you would characterize the high-profile nature of the Anthony trial, the challenges that perhaps it presented not only to these attorneys, but you on the bench having to corral everyone during this?
You know, the major problem with cases with a great deal of pre-trial publicity is that a lot of the facts are out there before the jury. And some of those facts are true, and some of those facts are false. And during the jury selection process, you have to go through that to let those potential jurors understand that the facts will come in during the trial, not what you glean from the news media, from what you read, but you got to get them of the mindset that everything that they listened to, heard, may not actually come into evidence. And that's a big task.
Judge, do you think it will change anything if this case goes forward with both of these defendants not severed but tried together, so you'll have two different legal teams essentially inside of the courtroom?
Are you able to fast forward, please? There's a part. Sorry, there's a part where they show him in the courtroom. No, not in drag. They show him in that bit there where
with
that
Papa
courtroom
Anthony?
interaction with Papa Anthony.
Yeah. He did not like Jose.
No, funny that.
Of course,
Okay, so,
that
let's go back to the beginning of it, please.
I'm sorry?
Go back to the beginning of it, please. Thank you. All right, so this is important because the reason I wanted to bring this part up, and it made me think about what Owens could do to deflect attention to somebody else, right? So this was an important part of the Anthony trial in that it made the jurors look at an alternate theory, right? So it pointed the finger of guilt and blame at someone else, right? And there is someone else that Owens is going to be pointing the finger at, and it's the decedent.
Yeah.
And whilst there may not be a very robust battered spouse defense, people are still human, as we say. Like Andrew was saying, you don't just put some code in and get justice coming out the other end. People have feelings, and they might look at this person and go, hey, yeah, maybe he did put her in fear of her life. Maybe she was living in hell. Maybe that night was just a terrible night, and maybe the day after she was just in shock and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, do you want to just play this and we'll...
Was not
talk
on
about
trial,
it?
but here's how Baez handled that cross-examination.
You know, of course, that sex with a child under the age of 12 years old is life in prison, don't you, sir?
Relevance. Sustain.
You're aware of the possible penalties of child molesting, don't you, sir?
Objection. Relevance. Sustain.
You, of course, would never admit to molesting your child, would you, sir?
Objection. Argumentative.
Wait, was that?
But that's all great. That's all great. Was this cross?
Yeah. Oh no.
That's all great cross. Because of course the jury hears all of it. So the jury's thinking about all of it. Right?
Yeah, it was cross.
Exactly. None of it's allowed in.
This
yet they've
was,
heard
I
it all.
believe, the first. Like, they called back the witnesses several times throughout the trial for like each subject, and so this was the first one where Jose was trying to like ask him all these questions, and the prosecutor just kept doing a scope objection. So Jose had to wait, but he was able to get it out in front of the jury.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, you can say objection, argumentative as much as you like, but he said it all.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like getting punched in the face, and you say, "Well, that punch was inappropriate."
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you still got
Still
punched in the
felt it.
face.
Exactly. Exactly.
Overruled. He can answer the question if he can.
Sir, I never would do anything like that to my daughter.
My question is, you would never admit to it, would you, sir?
Sir, I would never do anything to harm my daughter in that way.
Only in that way.
Objection.
Sir.
Sustain.
I think I hear your voice.
So don't
Wow.
engage with counsel on cross. That's a bad plan. Just yes or no.
That was, yeah. Like, and I was like, I didn't watch the whole trial, but I would assume, and you, Dali, are a bit of a Casey Anthony trial expert. You watched the whole thing. You know all the players in it. That was a bit of a pivotal moment, right?
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
It got a lot worse when he got his term on when he had his case in chief, but
Yep.
The dynamics between Jose and both the mom and dad got a lot worse during the trial, and he was able to really needle him throughout it.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing. I'm sure there will be, I haven't seen the witness list from the prosecution, but what if the prosecution brings in witnesses from George's family, for example? George's family has been brought up by Mr. Owens outside the courthouse on the very first day that he was representing Sarah. Now, people have said some terrible things about the fact that he implicated George's family, and he actually said the words, the Torres brothers are violent towards their women. Now, that was a little bit out of line, some people say, for him to be saying that. His brother, Farrell, has been charged with murder or
Charged, yeah.
found guilty. Yes, charged with murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charged with
Second
murder.
degree, I believe.
Yeah.
Same charge.
Yeah. Same
For
as
killing his wife.
killing his wife back in May this year.
Yep. He's in
fact, he's in jail. Yes.
Small world.
And so yes.
But that'll
and
never
so,
be admissible. I mean,
No, it's not
no.
admissiable. It's unless someone opens the door to it in some way. But I don't see how that can be let
although
in.
with today's judges, who knows? But it ought not be admissible. I guess.
I'll allow it. I don't think so.
I doubt they would. Be very careful. But the way it works in Florida, and I'm not sure about other jurisdictions, is if that person was called as a witness on cross or on
then
direct,
of course, sure, for character.
then you can say, have you been convicted of a felony or a crime of dishonesty, and if so, how many? And they have to answer. That is, they can't go into the nature of the felony unless they deny the thing. And it's amazing because it's amazing that people screw this up. But
people lie.
It's like people get in there and it's like, okay, The number is 10. I've got 10 felonies. 1, 2, 3. So when I ask you how many felonies do you have, what are you going to say? 10. Right. And then they get up there and they say, how many felonies? Oh, 3 or 4. You know,
or they'll deny having theft convictions, and you're like, God. Oh, really? So you didn't get caught stealing 15 times in the past 6 years? Oh, well,
but you coach them and they still blow it. It's amazing how bad people are.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff.
Dali, I just sent you a link. Would you mind please playing that video from 11 minutes 22, I think it is. Oh, there he is. Hello, Dali. I do. Never mind. I'll just do it myself.
There does tend to be an inverse correlation between IQ and appearing in court to testify.
Yes.
I mean,
well, it's true.
And it's not a lock, but I'm saying there's a correlation.
No.
I'm firmly convinced of that at this point.
Alex Murdoch was a pretty smart dude, though. But I don't know why he did that. That was dumb.
Why he testified?
Yeah,
he had
why
nothing
he
to lose.
testified.
No, he had to.
Oh, yeah. It's potentially criminal. Why are you blanked out? Why don't you?
Oh, I didn't realize I was sorry. Oh, I thought I was on there. Sorry.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right. I'm gonna see if this works because I want to show you this part. Oh, hello. Well, some volume would be good.
I can't imagine our system. The case is an aberration. Okay.
Well,
just a gap in the system. That
we don't have our co-pilot.
You know, on the federal level, on the state level, everybody charged with a crime is entitled to counsel.
What's going on?
Never, unless
it's just not visible.
Unless the defendant waives their right and wants to represent.
Can you see or hear it?
I can hear it.
You just can't see it properly.
Yes.
But I understand the judge's ruling.
All right. Just a minute. My co-pilot is not around. Just a minute.
I'm just proud of.
I think the whole modern public defender model, by the way, is going to come under closer examination.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well, I just see. I'm just reading news stories out of places like Idaho, where the entire public defender system is basically imploding. The state's not willing to pay enough money for people to be public defenders, and
the PDs are refusing to take more cases,
and so they can't do it. I mean, they're getting paid nothing, and they're way overworked as it is, And let's face it, the U.S. Constitution doesn't say the state has to pay for your public defender. It just says you're entitled to counsel, right? That was later Supreme Court cases that said the state has to pay for it if you can't afford it. So that's a rule of law from the courts. It's not something that's intrinsic to the Constitution. I think when the people of Idaho were asked to put up something like $80 million for public defender services, and they said, "No, we'll give you 40," and 40 is not enough. So that. Currently, at least in Idaho, the way the system is in place, it's unworkable. It just can't be done. Those poor people who are acting. And by the way, I have every faith in public defenders. I think they're doing God's work. I'm just talking about the economics of it. I don't see how it can work.
Well, that's one of another.
Especially when we have an increasing number of people who are running through the system.
And this is another big argument. Of course, I'll bring up my death penalty. Another big argument against the death penalty, because what they pay to do a death penalty case and the amount of work and the amount of hassle and headache and stakes, it is not worth it. Doing death penalty appeals, it's nothing. They pay you peanuts for.
In Idaho, they were paying death penalty certified lawyers $200 an hour.
Yeah. So in Ohio, a death penalty case, it's maxed out at like 15. It's maxed out. You max out at like $15,000 to bill for a case.
Oh, same with Sarah Boone's lawyer.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you now. A minute ago, I was referring to how Mr. Owens, this is the first day he appeared in court to represent her, right? This is only a few weeks ago, too. It was like a month ago, right? And he's aged
10 years.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes ago, actually.
Yeah. Okay, and he said a few things. One of the things he said was this, one of my favorite things ever, and that is,
Sarah Boone needed a lawyer.
Yeah, that was why. When they said, "Why did you do this?" he went, "Well, Sarah Boone needed a lawyer." It was quite nice of him. But near the end of the interview, he came along and said something quite abrasive to many, and that was regarding the Torres brothers. And I thought that this was a little bit of maybe an insight into what we can expect when we get to trial. Dali, would you like to press play? Thank
10
you.
minutes, just think about her situation.
Gonna need some more sound.
Yes, we are.
It's okay.
Sorry, guys.
All right.
Corner, and she's
The hell?
Yeah, we're playing this from a news website, so it's not as easy to control.
Yeah.
And I know you've been waiting already because my internet went nuts.
violent. The dysfunction.
God.
It's all right.
I seriously doubt that's going to be admissible in my trial.
There we go. I think it's better now.
But
Yeah, it's a bit low, but it's all right. We can deal with it.
mistreated to some degree. It's difficult to represent yourself. I wish you could just imagine if you had a daughter that was
Okay, so it's a bit before this.
represent herself, or maybe
Oh, before this?
No, keep going. Sorry.
I think it's after.
sister.
Yeah.
Just for 10 minutes, just think about her situation. You know, she's backed into a corner, and she's the type, like most of us are, they're going to come out swinging. That's what she's been doing. Some of it is probably appropriate, some of it has been inappropriate, but it's all she knew to do was to fight. And she's been fighting. She doesn't have to fight anymore. I'm going to do the fighting for her. So she feels good about it. I feel good about it. We want justice to be served. We feel like if we get a fair jury, that we got a good chance. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
No. Okay, so it was just before that. Sorry.
Sure.
It's developing an
Apologies,
osteo.
guys.
Whoops. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, it was about 2 minutes before the end.
Okay.
Sorry, everyone.
Excuse me? Why this case? Sarah Boone needed a lawyer.
Needed a lawyer.
I can't imagine.
Okay.
In a trial on a criminal case, the state has the burden. We're going to test the state's evidence, and then we've got.
So he kind of stops everybody from the questioning, and he says, "There's something I want to tell you all."
To see if we can utilize, because I do believe she meets the criteria just from everything that I have.
Yeah, I know.
In terms of
I got to go in 7 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
This is the last bit. There we go. Here we go.
I'll wait for you if you got questions.
Downstairs.
Okay.
Or, I mean, we can just wrap it up.
We can just wrap it up.
I did want to say this.
There we go.
The Torres brothers are violent towards women. I'll say that again. The Torres brothers, George and Farrell Torres, are violent towards their women. Farrell Torres is George's brother. Are y'all aware of this? He was arrested in May in Seminole County for killing his girlfriend, the mother of his children. He stabbed her to death. I've got the file right here. He called 911. Eventually, the 911 operator got around to, where is the weapon? Where is the knife? It was still in her head. I don't know.
Jesus.
Sarah's told me about the family, the dysfunction. I seriously doubt that's going to be admissible in my trial.
Yeah, it's not going to be admissible, dude.
But there's two sides to every story. And Sarah's got a story to tell. I think she's been mistreated to some degree. It's difficult to represent yourself.
So what I feel like he's doing is he's just trying to change the public view of what's going on. So yes, I agree with you, Marsha, and a lot of people out there really didn't like Owens from the get-go because they said bringing up what you said, bringing up George's brother is irrelevant. It happened years later, and frankly, it's really gross.
You know what, though? This isn't pleasant stuff.
No.
But you're butchering hogs is not pleasant. But this is what it takes. This is what it takes.
100% right. 100% right.
Bronco, if you're talking to us.
Yeah.
But I think you'd agree, Steve. You know, if you want to do this, you gotta be willing to get dirty.
Well, and the client is telling you a story, and this is one of the things I remember when we did a death penalty. I forget which case it was. Oh, I know which case it was, but I can't talk about it too much. But I will say that we represented a client who who confessed to a very brutal murder. All right, and our job was at mitigation was to present the client's side of the case. Now the prosecutor gets up there and talks about how angelic the victim was and all the things that everybody agrees with, and when you get up there, your job is to present the other side, and the other side could be pro your client or pro. Now it's like maybe he made an A in second grade, maybe he got most valuable student in third grade, maybe he loves his mother, he has a pet dog, and everything you say positive about this murderer. It's like, how can you say this about this person? Well, you say that because it's your job. Your job, that's the way the system works. You have to have somebody who provides the balance so that you have context, so that both sides are considered. And that's what this guy's doing, is he's laying out the other side. And if you're convinced that there's no defense and she deserves the death penalty, it's over, you are not a responsible juror, because you need to weigh both sides before making the decision. And that's what the jury's going to have to do. And that's what he's doing here as a defense attorney, and what he should do.
Agree.
Yeah, and you don't get too many criminal defense attorneys who are agreeable people.
Well, I mean, he's well spoken. He seems like a gentleman. This is the only thing that he's done in representing this case publicly that has people have really been able to go, hey, that's a gross thing to do, right? That's like a sleazy defense lawyer tactic, right? In the term, like, people love to say, oh,
but he's battling all the media outlets who are putting out all the negative stuff that she's ever done, and it's like, well, there are two sides. It may not be admissible in court, but there's also this public relations battlefield we talked about before, when it's like, are you just going to cede all that ground to the mass media who's going to just want to bury your client to get headlines? No, you're going to get out there and you got to represent your client by putting out her side, even if the world doesn't like it. That's his job. And I admire this guy for what he's doing.
And the other point is, Steve, let's say it's all wrong. Let's say Sarah really isn't this bad person. The prosecutor's not going to come out and say, wait, guys, she did it, but she's not as bad as you think. They're never going to come out and fix it.
Right. Exactly. Hey, I got to go. I'm sorry. It's 8 o'clock and I've got dinner coming up. But thank you very much. Good to see all, Dolly and Hella and
good to see you, Steve. I'm going to have to
Good
run
to see
too,
you, Steve.
folks. Thanks for having me on, Hella, and everybody. And
Bye,
Sean, good to
Andrew.
see you. Dolly, good
Stay
to see
dry,
you.
Gosney.
And
Take care, man.
have a great night, everybody.
Yep. See you, Steve.
Stay safe.
Make sure you got your water wings on.
Yeah. All right. The dirty three.
I've just lost my audio. I can't hear you guys. Just
We can hear you.
Hella?
I'm going to have to leave the
No.
studio just for a second
Let's
because
go.
I can't hear anything. Okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Simmer
back
down.
in a sec.
All right.
The most annoying noise, the annoying sound in the world, she might hear us.
Well, I don't think we can play our own voice. Just kidding. Oh, she's going to hate me for that.
That's why I'm off screen right now.
Oh. Anywho.
But this is where, people don't like it. But yeah, it's like imagine it's a rape case. Guess what I'm gonna have to do to that witness, the victim? Are you sure? You're not sure? You're not a fucking liar?
Yeah.
You got to walk up there and ask a 12-year-old, did you really get diddled? You get when you told the doctors what happened, it didn't make any sense.
Hey.
You told the doctors this, you told the doctors that.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, you got to ask really not fun questions.
That was so weird.
Can you hear us?
I could see you all. You were all moving and doing stuff.
Okay.
And
So you couldn't hear what I said or anything?
I couldn't hear anybody. It was so weird.
Oh no.
Oh, why? What were you saying about me?
Oh, just good things.
Oh, only good things, right? Yeah,
We're
sure.
talking about how you spent all your money on Clyde coin.
Clyde coin.
Yes, it's going to the moon, guys.
To the moon.
To the
Off their
moon.
lawn.
Just like Alice.
Right.
I still don't know anything about that, except I know Andrea's covering it. And
Clyde coin?
What?
The Andrea or the Alice thing.
Oh, that.
Oh, I was
what-
talking.
what's
I was
that
making a
Andrew's been on
honeymooners
about?
reference.
Oh! I thought you were talking about the case.
Oh no! I was like to the moon, like Ralph
Oh yeah,
always
pow
did that.
to the moon. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what Andrea's been on about. Is Andrea going to the Delphi case?
Yes, I think she
Supposed
is. Bob
Oh,
Motta
good.
from Defense Diaries is going. A couple people are going.
Okay, cool.
So there's going to be
Good.
a competition
Some
for
people will
those
be there.
20 seats.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, the 6
good. At
seats
least
in
some
the
people will
courthouse.
be there.
Yeah, it's public. You got 6 seats there.
Look-
Yes, Luke, I do wear my pink tie when I cross-examine child sex assault victims.
Are we talking about the salmon tie?
Yes, I like it. Yeah, it's right here.
I like the salmon tie, and it's even got the grill marks on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Did Dina buy that for you?
I think that predates her. Not sure.
Cheated on her with a
Predates
tie.
her.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with my ties. When I was skinnier and I had my collection of skinnier guy ties, like that didn't look weird on a fat
Skinnier
guy.
tie.
Yeah, well, because like they have ties for fat guys. When you're fat, you kind of
Really?
take up like you need a little more real estate for your tie because otherwise you wear a normal tie, it gets real short.
Huh.
So-
Oh yeah, and it goes up to like your
Yeah.
yeah
So
chest. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
Huh.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah.
Righto. Cool. Are you streaming tonight?
yes, yeah. At some point tonight we'll be doing some members only stuff, and then we might have
Members
a
only.
special guest for a late show.
Right.
Oh, a special guest.
Yes,
Not just
yes,
a
because
normal
the Kiwi
guest.
Control Council has forbidden someone else to stream at all going forward. So
Someone else to stream.
they've been forbidding it, and that person has been abiding by the terms of the edicts of the Kiwi Control Council. But we might have a late show.
God.
Alex says, I'm not fat enough to know. No, you're not, and you don't want that.
There's so much there, and you're not giving anything away.
No. The Kiwi Control Council, the Kiwi Farms issued an edict that a certain person can't stream anymore, and he's being a good little boy and not streaming anymore. He hasn't streamed in a couple weeks.
Huh.
Who hasn't streamed in a couple weeks?
You'll figure it out. You guys are smart.
Nah, depends. If it depends what.
Oh.
Oh, you know. You know.
The obvious target of them, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay. Righto. Can someone say it in chat? Kiwi Control Council.
I'm gonna go ahead and order my Baldo right now, and
Oh, somebody, right, okay. Right. Jimmy. Lordy. Alright, anyway.
Kiwi Control Council. Oh my
Yes, the Kiwi
Oh my
Control
God.
Council.
I just got the spelling there.
Shocking. Oh, you people are so bad. Okay. Radio. So, Sean's streaming later. I'm sure everyone will be there. In the meantime, we're going to raid Ping.
Okay. Peen raid.
And he doesn't mind being called Ping. In fact, call him Big Ping.
Big Peen
Big-
raid.
Oh, we're
Big
over
Ping.
here. We're ending now?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'll start up probably around like 8:45.
I don't know what time that is. What time is it?
30
45 minutes. 40 minutes from now.
45.
now? Okay, right. So everyone can hang out with Ping for a while.
Oh,
and then
ping?
go over to-
Guys, ping. Like, one ping only for Schiller. Not peen. Not peen like Clyde Eats Peens. No. Ping.
Well,
Did you know Alec Baldwin was in The Hunt for the Red October?
Yes.
Yeah,
And some things don't
apparently.
react to out of bullets.
Oh, and Carrie Morrissey, by the way, update. She requested a hearing for her newest motion
Oh, God.
to reconsider.
She's
2
gonna get-
hours.
she could get sanctioned. She doesn't stop.
Jesus, you got the W for Hannah. You effed over that.
Yeah, but that was the easy
Girl.
one. That was the easy one. The white whale got away from her.
Someone needs to go and like give us some gummies or something. Calm her down.
Oh,
Poor love.
Just
She
hold
needs
up,
some
hold
D.
up a stein outside with the little like Xanax taped to it. Like, here you go,
Yeah,
Carrie.
yeah. No, she needs some D. Someone needs to go and dick her down.
Well, Les her down.
I'm sure someone on our
Les her
softball
down.
team- someone on our softball team could probably help her with that.
Hey, I dated a girl that was on a softball team, and she had a secret girlfriend that she told nobody about.
Oh.
And it was not one of those women that she would like.
Thanks, darling.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we're not backstage yet.
Oh.
No.
That would help.
Anyway, softball chicks are cute.
No.
Yeah. Only if Bronco was single. Oh, dear. All right. So we're going to go raid Big Peen. Everyone say hello, Raid, EU Raid, whatever you want to say. He knows what my real name is now. The very first time we raided him, everyone said hello, Raid, and he thought he was actually being raided, like, as in his channel was being...
Oh, no.
Yeah. He
He's
didn't
like,
understand
wait,
what
no.
the raid was. Well, he's just like a solitary Australian streamer who's never been redirected to ever.
Oh.
And he didn't know. Yeah, and he didn't know my name was Hella. He thinks my name's Excited Utterance, so I'd never called myself Hella in his chat before. So, yeah, it was very funny. And his mods were all like, ah! But now he's just like, thank you for reaching out to me. And he feels like he's part of a community now, which is really sweet. So, anyway, let's go do that. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Sean, for dropping in. So nice of you. That was really nice to have everyone together and have nice chats together and stuff. That was fun. And yeah, hopefully next week we'll have a Sarah Boone trial on.
Yep.
And I'll be streaming now until God knows when, middle of the day.
Yeah,
and
Sean was
afternoon.
on with other lawyers, and none of them yelled at him, and it's just
No!
Yeah, it was really good.
Wasn't that
it was a
weird?
nice feeling.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Rarefied air
Everyone
for
was-
me, chat.
Everyone was getting along.
I know. I'm not used to that. Sean definitely isn't. Yeah.
I'm not,
Yeah.
man.
I know, right?
All right, I'm gonna go eat some cold
It's
SpaghettiOs.
time for... Okay, yeah, go on. Go eat your SpaghettiOs. Off you go. Yeah, don't get any powder on ya. All right, time for the song. Time for the song.
Her name was Hella. She was a Nazi.
Nazi.
She was a fake lawyer from the future. She got on YouTube and made some live streams. The co-host is Donnie and she dances sometimes. The words are always so loud and because she's an 803. To the attention, excited utterance. Her cat is